next year will be its third year of running. And I love it. It's my flagship program. It's the program I've always wanted to run. And I describe it differently every single time I talk about it because it really is this kind of co-created space. It varies depending on the women that come together. Um, and we shape it as we go. I mean, obviously, I bring the structure, I bring the I bring the shape of it. I bring the holding the space and the skills and the themes that weave through. But it is also very co-created and shaped by you, and what you bring and what you want as well. But the place that BeWild comes from is my belief in the power of nature to heal, to ground and center us, to act as mirror so that we can reconnect more deeply with who we really are. You know, when you come out into the wild, the masks come off. You know, nature doesn't care whether you're a CEO or a business owner or a stay-at-home mom, or, you know, whether you've been in business a year or 20 years. We're all equal when we're outside, when we're sitting around the fire. And that enables us to take off the masks of this is who I should be. Sometimes it can take a while, but when we can take off that mask, we can relax and be like, oh, I don't have to be anybody here. I can just be me and figure out who that is. And oh, the sighs of relief. I can literally see the weight come off women's shoulders when they realize, oh, I can just relax here. So yeah, the power of just being out in nature was a key kind of I mean, it's the theme that runs through BeWild, right? It's also around bringing in the seasons and cycles. Now, as women, we all have cycles, you know, whether we're still cycling monthly or we used to, you know, we have cycles, um, you know, physically and also with the moon. And we have these annual cycles. And I am passionate about helping women tune into those cycles. So that they can learn to learn to work with them rather than constantly fighting against them. And also the seasonality of the year. For those of you that do follow me on Facebook, you'll know I'm a really keen forager, and I love like noticing. So I'm looking out here because I can see trees and things. You know, noticing what's around at different times of the year, when the birds are singing, when I can find that plant, what the sun's doing, what the moon's doing. For me, I really get a sense of belonging and groundedness and connection from knowing what's going on out in the seasons and from following that. You know, whether it's the buzz of early summer or the inwardness of winter. And I really encourage the women that work with me to really explore how the seasons impact us and how we can work with them, and bring those into our lives, into our businesses. So BeWild is very much a seasonal journey. It's also about the idea of tribe and village and belonging. Um, it's something, you know, I really believe that we are better when we're working together. Now, I'm a strong, fiercely independent woman, and connection is so important to me. Asking for help is so important. Being supported is so important. And I really believe that there's a part of us that still yearns for the time that we would sit in circle around the fire and chat away as women, when we would cook together, when we'd go down to the river and wash clothes, when we'd, you know, just be together and share. And that just doesn't happen anymore. You know, everything's done for us. We don't need each other so much on a practical level, and yet we do. And I really think this everything done for us has kind of disempowered us in some way. It's certainly disconnected us. So BeWild is about reconnecting that sense of tribe, of support, of belonging. And it's why we travel through the year as one group, and it's a small intimate group. We have, you know, 10 women plus me and our assistant Sarah. So we really get to know each other. And the retreats are very very, get stuck in. And, we cook together, we wash up, we do tasks together. I mean, yes, there is a lot of alone time as well, and solo time and downtime. But one of the highlights for many women is the working together to get stuff done, and the stuff that brings up. You know, working together is challenging sometimes. And whilst all the women that come on to BeWild have like this common theme of a desire to connect to nature, or to learn more about themselves, or to challenge themselves in some way, they're all very different women usually, and perhaps women that you wouldn't normally hang out with. And yet that is a beautiful space to understand how you relate to other people. And how you relate to other people can be a really powerful mirror into what's going on for yourself. So working together as a village is a beautiful, supported, safe, non-judgmental way to explore relating and explore how you show up in relating to others, whilst also being really, really supported and held and encouraged and championed throughout the entire year. And then the other thing to say for me, BeWild is about this connection to self, but in particular, exploring the archetype of the wild woman. Now, some of you will know me as kind of the wild woman of the woods. And yeah, there's an element of that. We get to go out and be in the wild and do some, cool stuff in the wild. But what I'm really passionate about is how we take that out into our day-to-day lives. This isn't just about going away and having a cool time on retreat. It's about, embracing, learning about, exploring, embracing all the characteristics of that wild woman. She's strong, she's fierce, she's determined, she's courageous, she doesn't care what other people think, she's independent, and yet also really loyal and supported by and supportive of the tribe. She's resilient. Like, all of these characteristics, how useful could they be in your business, in your relationships, right? So a lot of BeWild for me is like, how do we access that? And being out in the wild is a great place to explore it. But then how do we take that with us into the rest of our lives? So it's this real melting pot of in-person wild experiences that are profoundly transformational and also deeply replenishing and fun and sometimes challenging and just beautiful. Like one of the women on the BeWild a few years ago said, it's like switching off to switch back on. Like there's these regular pauses throughout the year, and we follow some of the key kind of the key points throughout the year. For example, the summer solstice, we have our Dartmoor retreat, and they're very useful pauses throughout the year to pause and reflect. So many of us are so busy looking after other people, or running our businesses, or full-on jobs, or we very rarely take the time just to step back and reflect and look forward and think, right, where am I? Where do I want to be? Who am I in all of this? So we take the time, at the retreats to have those pauses. Completely gone off track there. What was I saying? It's a combination of, these times out in the wild, plus this support through the year of these amazing women that are going to journey with you, that you will become just amazing friends with. It's about this connection to the wild. It's about this stepping into, or kind of rediscovering and exploring, and then stepping into this new, more powerful you.